He said, follow me.
The harvest is plentiful, labor is few. The Retelling's here to share the good news of JESUS.
Hey, Retelling fam, thank you for joining us for another episode. I am excited to delve into this one with y'all because I've been talking about the miracles of Jesus for like weeks and how I wanted to get into some of them. And I'm getting to it now. I'm getting to it. There's just so much good stuff in the Bible.
So much.
It's hard to pick sometimes. But yeah, I want to talk about today Jesus's first miracle, which I feel like is one of the better known miracles, even with non-believers. Maybe not for a great reason. We'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. The title of today's episode is From Oh No to Overflow.
Love good overflow.
Mm-hmm. And it is about Jesus turning water into wine.
We know you know it. We know you know it.
We know. We know that you have said, oh, it's okay for me to go out and get lit because Jesus turned the water into wine. No.
And no. That's not what's meant by that.
It's not. It's not. So I just want to preface this story with that. He is at a wedding. There is celebration. People are having some wine in a joyous spirit. It is okay to drink, but the Bible does warn us about intoxication. So just have
Why
that
do
in
they
mind.
do that?
Why does it warn us about intoxication? Mm-hmm. I would say because, what's the word I'm looking for? Overindulgence is generally not a good thing, regardless of what you're talking about. Like, we can have things in moderation, the same way that I love chocolate, but
I don't love chocolate.
I don't know if I can do this podcast with her. Well, I love chocolate, but I would not love eating 130 Hershey's bars back to back to back to back.
Yes, that, and also inebriation means a loss of self-control. And God calls us to operate in the fruit of the Spirit. And one of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control. So if you are drunk, inebriated, intoxicated, then you cannot have self-control. There's no way to be drunk and have self-control. It does not happen. And so therefore you are operating outside of the fruit of the Spirit if you are drunk, which is another reason why he's like, yeah, nah, that's not it. That's not it.
Don't do that. He's not a God of chaos. So, a little drink, a little celebration, okay. Sloppy, blackout drunk, no, baby. And don't put that on Jesus. Okay. So this story takes place, little Bible check for you, in John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. You can find that in the New Testament. And just to give a little bit of background, in John 1, John being John the Baptist, who's Jesus' cousin.
Hey, cousin.
I feel like I've said that a lot of people are cousins in the Bible. And I mean, maybe there were just a lot of cousins because, they had to go be fruitful and multiply. But I'm pretty sure he's his cousin.
Yep. Because Elizabeth was Mary's cousin.
There we go.
And how they fall in the genealogy, I'm not as well.
I would need to see a chart.
I want to be very knowledgeable in the genealogy, and I understand some of the genealogy, but I cannot quote you all the genealogy. But it said that Elizabeth and Mary were cousins, and thus Mary had Jesus and Elizabeth had John. So cousins.
Okay. And John helps to pave the way for Jesus. And that was something that had been foretold years and years and years in advance. But in the first chapter of John, John the Baptist baptizes Jesus, and he gives recognition that this is Jesus, this is the Messiah. So John had disciples. And when he is giving, I was going to say hyping Jesus up.
I say
essentially, when he was hyping Jesus up, some of those disciples were like, oh, we're going to follow him. And it wasn't like a petty thing. John wasn't like, you were supposed to be my people.
Right. No. Why are you following him? I put you on.
That's not what happened. But some of the disciples followed Jesus, and John is happy for them. So it's all good. Now, this is John 2. And there is a wedding. It is a joyous occasion. Jesus's earthly mother, Mary, is at the wedding. Some of the disciples are there with him. I think about 4 or 5 disciples at this time, but we are early on in the ministry of Jesus. He wanted to wait until he was at a time where he could start really glorifying God through his works and in revealing who he is. So he wasn't just like running out, hey, I'm Jesus, I'm Jesus, I'm Jesus, I'm Jesus.
Heal you, miracle, heal you, miracle. That's not what's happening. This was one of the first miracles, though.
Yeah, one of the first. And at this wedding, it's for one of Mary's friends, and she's kind of like helping out. And I do want to preface as well that these weddings are like a lot. I am an introvert, and it sounds like an introvert's worst nightmare. So they're like
it sounds like a good time to be.
Yeah, you got that. It is a multi-day occasion. There are like festivals, there's celebrations, there's feasts, there's people that have to go in homes, there's different like rituals and purification rites and all sorts of things that happen. Like for anyone who is married and went through the process of planning a wedding, just think of that times 12. That's what a wedding is. So at this wedding, people are drinking, feasting, celebrating, very much in the spirit of joy. And Mary is helping out and realizes, big party foul, the wine is running low.
A big party no.
Like, I don't know if you've ever been to a party where like the food was looking suspect, like if it's a buffet line and you notice like,
it's like going to an open bar and they run out of liquor.
Yeah.
Says where, when, how.
Yeah. Like says that would be a faux pas today. But at this point, it would be a disgrace. Like, it would be a terrible start to the wedding. It would show that they are not ready to give provision to others. It would just like party over. They talking about you. They talking about you on Twitter. No, what is it called now? X. They are talking about you on X. Bad.
Absolutely talking about you.
So it would be super embarrassing for them to run out of wine. It can't happen. So Mary notices that this wine is running low. She doesn't want her friends to be disgraced. She doesn't want her friends to be talked about bad. So I feel like she pulls Jesus up and she's like, hey, I need you to work this out.
She was like, I know what you can do. I know what you can do, and I need you to do it.
I know exactly what you can do, and I need you to put that in the process.
Because I know who you are.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you are.
I'm your mom.
I carried you.
All that. Now, what Jesus says to Mary in chapter 2, verse 4 is, woman, and I want to preface, this is not a disrespectful woman. It's not like that. Like, this is a cultural language thing. Not disrespectful. But he says,
like, woman.
Yeah, he says,
I feel
woman.
Like like that.
Woman. Well, mama, like that. Woman, why do you involve me? Jesus replied, my hour has not yet come. So he's reaffirming that it's not time for him to be miracle here, miracle there, miracle everywhere. Like, he's not ready for that just yet. And we don't get the conversation that happens between them. But the next thing you know, Mary is talking to the servants at the party and she's like, just do whatever he says.
Because he's about to do something. Because I'm still his mama and I told him I need help. So I understand what he said, but I'm his mama.
And he did. So he is on divine time and he's really waiting to reveal those powers until, the time when he can best glorify God. And that gives me a takeaway. Takeaway number 1, if you will, that God's time is the right time.
Absolutely. Jesus wasn't here to flex. Like, he wasn't like, oh, I'm going to flex what I can do. He was a humble guy.
Humble. Very much so. Because he could have done a lot, but he was waiting until it would best glorify God.
Yep.
Okay. And he honors Mary and his own timing by performing this miracle, but he does it quietly. Like, he does it on the low, on the hush hush. So he does make this wine. I was going to say make this wine appear. I don't want it to sound like a magic trick, but he makes the wine appear, essentially. So
he just turns the water into another beverage.
A delightful beverage for the people of God. Jesus has the servants who did not hesitate, by the way. Like, there's a preach there because Mary said, do whatever Jesus say. And the servant said, bet. And a lot of times, Jesus tells us, go left and we gonna right.
We like, you sure? You sure, Jesus? I'm
Mhm.
really sure you sure.
That hesitation wasn't there. They said, okay, cool. So Jesus tells them to fill up 6 stone water jars. And I looked this up because I wasn't sure how big the jars would be. You know, in my mind, a jar is like this, but these jars are probably like 20 to 30 gallon jars. So like 20 to 30 this, that's big. And there's 6 of them. The servants fill them up with the water, and then he changes that water into wine. He does the Jesus thing. He does it very quietly, and it becomes wine. And I was really caught up on these jars because I was also like, you know, they're purification jars. So I wanted to know more about that. It goes into the rites and the rituals and everything that comes along with this. So part of the jar's purpose was to like wash hands. It's very important to be clean.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Jesus used these specific jars to make wine is showing us that we're going from more of kind of this ritual idea of cleanliness to a spiritual one. Because we don't have to do all these rituals when we can just believe in God, right? God is able to forgive us for our sins. God is able to make us clean again. So it's like ushering in this new era of Jesus, in my Jesus era. Or I guess I wasn't at the wedding, so they're in their Jesus era. That's how that
I'm trying to
works.
always be in my Jesus era.
Yes. We might have to make that a t-shirt.
Jesus
In my Jesus era.
Jesus era.
Period.
Like it, hashtag, don't copy it.
Clocking, as my students say, I don't know what this is, but my students do it, so okay. So we're going into this idea that purification comes from Jesus. And now, yes. And mind you, this wine that Jesus made, like he didn't make the $5 wine that I pick up at the store. This is like fine quality wine. And there is kind of like a master of ceremonies essentially for this wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So when the servants start bringing out this wine that Jesus made, he comments like, wow, this is good. Like usually in most cases at a wedding, you bring out your best first because as people indulge a little bit more, they're not thinking as much about the quality.
Right.
But for you,
because they lit,
right?
And they're not really tasting. They're not tasting the difference in the quality. They just drinking.
At the end of the party, the $5 bottle will do. But he says, like, you saved your very best for last, and that says something about you. So the party continues. There is no disgrace, and Jesus does this miracle very much on the low, like I said.
The hush hush.
The hush hush. He is able to do what his mama has asked him to do. He's able to save these people from embarrassment.
So he honored his parent. He honored his mama.
Honored his mama. Can you imagine if she was like, Jesus? You know, the mama stance. Like, get to it. Yeah. So he honored her and was able to perform this miracle. And that brings me to my second takeaway, which is sometimes real G's move in silence. Okay. And
they don't have to make an announcement about what they're doing.
You don't have to announce every single thing. You don't have to post every time you help somebody on social media and all that. I do think there's a time and a place, right? Like hearing people share their testimonies is always very inspiring. And, you know, being able to talk with your group, with your people about how things are going is great. But it doesn't have to be braggadocious, if you will. Like it's okay. It's okay to be a little bit quiet.
Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself.
That's fine.
Like, oh my God, I helped that person. Between you and God. You and God.
He knows, and he knows your heart, and that's fine. That's like the best that you could wish for. And then third point with this miracle that turned lack to abundance is that Jesus cares about our everyday human moments. Like when I think about what would have happened, I don't know if it would have been catastrophic if they ran out of wine. You know, certainly it would be embarrassing. Certainly it would not be a good start to their marriage, but I don't know that it would have ruined their lives.
Right.
And I think about me and my little moments when I'm like, you know, Jesus, it's snow season right now. So, you know, Jesus, please help me to get from point A to point B safely. or, when we're praying about tests that we have to take, or patience that we need to grow, or, just those everyday life moments. God, I'm running late. Can you please just help me get there safely and on time?
Let there be a part, Lord. Let there be a part.
In your holy name. I see what you've done for others. He cares about those, and we can cast those worries on him. It's okay. He didn't have to say, well, I guess you might be able to ask Mary when it comes to he didn't have to do it. She might have not really gave him a choice there, but he saved them from this embarrassment. And it's a human thing,
Yeah.
It wasn't about like a spiritual saving. It was about letting the party continue to roll on, letting people continue to celebrate and be joyous and be happy for this couple.
And what's interesting about that, something my sister always says is God cares about what you care about. It's not because it's not this grand thing that he doesn't care. He hears you. He cares about the things that you care about. And more wine is not on God's list of things to care about. But Jesus cared about what they cared about. His mama cared about it. She was like, I need you. And although it wasn't his time to show up on the scene to do miracles and glorify God through the things that he was performing and the miracles he was performing, but he honored his mother, which even in that simple task of honoring your mother, she asked you to do something. Yes, it doesn't completely align with the plan, because clearly he had a plan with what the timing would be. But he also knew he's God. But I think at the same time, it just shows his humanness.
Yeah.
And how he still honored his mother. Because he's God. Yeah. Right? He is God. And so to honor your mom in this simple request is still a very human thing, because one of the commandments is honor your mother and your father.
Yeah.
And he did.
If Jesus can listen to Mary and make some wine, you can pick up that remote control your mama asked you for. You can.
Or anything your mama and daddy.
Just love your mama, love your daddy, love your family. Honor
Absolutely.
them.
All it.
Now, one of the reflection questions that I had as I worked on this is because we think a lot about divine timing, about God's timing, about the timing of Jesus. And we as humans are not necessarily known for our patience. So a question that came to mind was, have you ever needed to remind yourself to trust God's timing?
Yes, all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And if I'm being honest, I mean, there was the season, there's been a couple seasons, but there was one season in particular where I was like, Lord, I trust you. Arms spread open. And I was like, God, whatever you may have me do, whatever's going to happen, I trust you. And then there was a time where I was like, God, what are you doing? Where are you? I don't know what's happening. I feel like you don't love me. And God very simply told me, I am enough, and reminded me that his timing is perfect. And so I had to continue to pray to trust him, to remind myself to trust him, and that his timing is perfect. So I think that I'm reminded quite a bit that I need to be patient in a lot of things.
Yeah, patience is hard. Patience gives you time to think about what you don't have that you want in your waiting. But it is important to know that God's timing is perfect and his plan is perfect. So you can wait and not even get the thing that you had been hoping for. It can be something totally different. But if it's what God has for you, it's what God has for you.
It's what God has for you.
For me, thinking about timing most recently and most relevantly, I have a family member who experienced a mental health crisis almost a year ago at this point. And she's young, she's 17. So she was hospitalized. She came out. She was not ready. She was not ready. She didn't have the coping mechanisms just yet. So she went back. And I was like, it's going to be another month done. Like she is going to get it together. The medicines are going to balance out. Everything's going to be great. And then another month went by. And then another month went by. Then another month went by. Couple months went by. My grandpa passed away. This family member wasn't able to be at the funeral because she was still in treatment. And I was like, God, what's going on? Like, this is a young person. This is her senior year of high school. She should be like going to homecoming and getting ready for prom and going out with friends and, really having a time. because it's senior year. Those real responsibilities aren't there yet. So like, what's up? Essentially. And I really had to lean into the fact that God knows what he's doing. God knows her heart. God loves her. God has a plan for her. And if it took more time than what I thought it would, so what? It's more important that she is happy, that she is healthy, and that she is able to center herself in her identification as his daughter. He has plans for her. I don't know what those plans are. I had no reason to want her to be rushed in her recovery other than for her to enjoy what I thought was going to be best for her. So just going through that process and knowing, like, okay, God, you're in charge. You're in charge. Like, for me to be impatient about what God is doing in someone else's life is crazy. But here we are.
But it's how we do.
It's what we do.
Especially for loved ones.
Yeah.
It's what we do.
When it comes to family, it means a lot. But I am appreciative knowing that he just never gave up on her, and knowing that this situation, he even worked on me and softening my heart and letting me trust him to do the right thing and letting me trust that he would heal in his due time. So if y'all have a situation that you've been waiting on, or something you've been through where you had to wait on God's time, not your time, we would love to know about that too.
Yeah. For sure.
Now, I do have a couple Bible verses, both on provision, because that was a big theme of the story. God provided, even though it was a small human thing, and on God's timing, because he made this all work. Again, he wasn't doing miracles left and right for everybody, but he trusted his own timing and when he would best be able to glorify God. Two of these verses are from Psalms. I was in there heavy. So the first one is from Psalms 34:10. And that is, the lions may grow weak and hungry, but those who seek the Lord lack no good thing. And I love that because, again, it's not about getting everything you ever wanted in life, becoming a millionaire, all that. It's just, if you're truly seeking the Lord, if your heart is going after him, you lack for nothing.
Nothing.
Not anything.
Nothing.
You have spiritual fulfillment. And that'll take you far, my friends. In Psalms 34:17, we have, when the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I have put myself in some troubles. I have seen some troubles. I have created some troubles.
And I've cried.
Yeah. I was just crying in church this morning, and I created a new nickname for myself, which is ABC, and that's always be crying, because that is what I do. We were singing a song that just talked about the goodness of God and God's sacrifice and how he trades our sorrows for joy. And it just hit me so hard in my spirit that God is just so big. Like, we can forget sometimes how omnipotent he is, how worthy of praise he is, but it just hit me in my spirit that God is so big, yet he cares about us so much. We can never repay him, but he loves on us anyways. He saved us anyways.
Anyway, he left comfort for chaos.
Oof.
Y'all lived here on earth.
Right.
You know what it's like.
Would you trade heaven for what's happening?
Would you like
I don't
be in heaven and be like, you know what? I'm gonna go down to earth and kick it with them and try to help them and die for them.
Very
ungrateful. Would you? I mean, he descended into chaos. It is chaotic here. It was then, and it absolutely is now. It hasn't gotten any better. It is so chaotic. And he left comfort for chaos. If that's not a testament of love, and then not only did he leave comfort for chaos, he was lied on, he was beaten, tortured, killed, buried, and then he rose. He did it all to save us so that we could learn how to live through him and be reconciled back to God. So Adam and Eve separated us from God, but here goes Jesus reconciling us back to God. That's why he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Through me, Because I came and paid it all for you. Can you be reconciled back to the Father? You can be reconciled back to the Father through Jesus.
And it's just like that thought is just so, like when I cried because of spiritual overwhelm, right? Not necessarily because I was sad, even though it makes me sad about what Jesus went through in this world, being completely undeserving of that. But when I think about just that level of sacrifice, the fact that that's a love that I can't even comprehend, I just, that was that on that. Yeah.
Yeah. It is something that really, really speaks to your spirit because it's not, do you believe in Jesus? It's, do you have faith in Jesus? The difference between belief and faith, do you have faith in him? Do you believe that he came here, lived, died for you so that you may be reconciled to God and trust him in your path through this life? As you go back to the Father, do you trust him, or are you like, it's a story I believe, but I'm not really going to change my life because I don't have faith in him?
Right.
Like the difference between faith and belief.
There's action there. A lot of action. It's a path, and Jesus is worth it every time.
Yep, all the time.
Next, I have Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint.
That's what happens when you wait. I love that song.
Me too. It's a good one.
Love it.
It's a good one. And that word wait is in there. And wait and patience go hand in hand. Wait. Wait. And I love that the word renew is in there too, right? How often do we come to Jesus just feeling broken down, battered, like we have nothing, tapped out. We have nothing else left inside of us, and he just pours himself into us. Like he is a well that will never run dry. Never. So we can always go to him for more strength. We can always go to him for better understanding, and he will refill us. He will restore us. And that's another type of provision. I think sometimes when we talk about provision, we think about like financially, winily through the wine, right? That was a provision. So through material things is what I mean.
Yep, I like
but
that.
there's a spiritual.
Did you say winily?
I did say winily. That's a new one. We're gonna put that in the dictionary. Wine up.
Let's not put that in the dictionary.
2026. I got that.
It's in the Urban Dictionary.
There we go. We'll put it in the Urban Dictionary. So it's not just through like financial or material things. It can be in a spiritual way too. And that spiritual way is even more important than anything that we could hold in our hands.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last verse that I have here is from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight.
My favorite. That is my favorite scripture.
One of my favorites as well. I'm pretty sure I have it hanging up at work because, that's definitely a place where I need to try not to lean on my own understandings at work.
I anchor in it because just in life, I'm like in life, I have to be reminded to trust in him in all things and allow him to direct my path. Like sometimes I want to direct my own path.
Real bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to lean on my own understanding, but my understanding compared to God's understanding, I don't know nothing.
Yeah, we don't know nothing.
Not a thing.
Not a
big
thing.
dummy. It's okay. So for me to try to lean on the understanding of nothing that I have, like for what? Why are we doing this? And I will do it again, I'm sure. But when we are trying to be on our time, right? When we are trying to be on our plan, when we're trying to consult God about what we're already doing,
that's wild that we do that. I mean, I do that. That's wild that we do that. Like, so God, about this thing that I already decided on.
Right? Like, is this the right decision that I'm currently doing? Yeah. Trust in the Lord with your heart. Trust in his understanding. Trust that he will put you on the right path. He's not going to forsake you. He's not going to go away from you. He's always going to be there for you. He loves you. He wants what is good for you, even if it doesn't feel good in that moment. Okay? There's going to be trials. They be trialing. The tribulations, they be
Tribulating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
And sometimes you can go on the opposite side of that and be stuck and feel like you can't make any move because God hasn't said anything. And sometimes you need to make a move and God will still guide you, lead you and guide you. And sometimes you just have to make a move, like make a move. And I struggle with that. Like, God's not talking to me. And sometimes like something needs to happen. Like there needs to be a move that has to be made because there's a time constraint and something has to happen within that time. Then you have to make a move and just trust that God will still carry you through that decision.
So we thank you for listening in today. Again, it's always important that you
spill the tea and read it for yourself.
Read it for yourself. So please tell us what your takeaways are in the comments. If there's something that you're waiting on, if there is a way that God has provided for you that just blew your mind, we would love to hear about it. We always love when you comment, when you like, when you share, when you help us just give this word with more and more people. We appreciate y'all so much for tuning in, and we can't wait to see you next week.
He's the bread of life, Alpha and Omega, our firm foundation. Jesus!
The well that never runs dry. You still thirsty off the Henny and you wonder why. JESUS is all you need. Wonderful counselor.